Welcome to the 2020 National HBCU Weekend Conference. To start off the Contracting Cluster Workshop Track Session 1, please welcome the Program Manager, AEDM and Minority Serving Institutions Program, HBCU Program, U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Linda M. Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session on the marketing to the government, upgrading your federal contracting power. We're so dedicated to staying on target. I have 1 minute left before my colleague.
Small Business Program, U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Anthony Cody Fritz.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, welcome. My goal today is to begin the conversation on how to identify and respond to NRC opportunities. I want to begin by thanking Tawanda for organizing and hosting today, and it is an honor to share the virtual stage with everyone. I kind of want to focus on three areas which are very important to my team and to Wanda. The first is we can help you transfer knowledge to how to identify opportunities, guide you in navigating the procurement process, and hopefully this results in increased participation in federal contracting. So let's begin with taking a look at what I will be discussing today. Can we pull up the first agenda slide, please? All right. All right, we'll transfer to the next slide. That's what I look like when I am wearing a tie. Here's today's title slide. Our goal, again, is, in a nutshell, making our business our business. That's what hopefully we'll be able to achieve starting today. Next slide, please. So let's take a look at what I'll be talking about today. I will begin with an introduction to the agency, which is the knowledge piece, then highlight the role and services my team offers, along with resources, which is the guidance component, and then close with how to contact us to continue the conversation. Next slide, please. All right, taking a look at the mission. The mission is to protect the health and safety of the public, as well as the environment, and we do this by regulating the civilian use of nuclear materials. So this really centers around nuclear reactors, materials used for medical purposes, waste support, and the physical security of facilities when it comes to sabotage, natural disaster, or cyber attacks. I also want to mention we're an independent agency and not part of Department of Energy. Next slide, please. All right, taking a look at our profile, you can see we spent about $186 million in fiscal year 19 for products and services in support of agency opportunities. So we do have quite a bit of opportunity to have regional offices located across the country in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Illinois, and Texas. All right, next slide, please. Let's take a look at what we buy. We purchase a little bit of everything, but if you were to break down spending into the top three commodity categories, it would be number one, IT and cybersecurity. Number two, corporate support, and we provide a few examples of what that truly means. And the third would be research and engineering, and we do this in the areas of nuclear engineering, materials engineering, and environmental sciences. And one example is a thermal hydraulic experimental model development opportunity that falls in this area. The value was just under $1 million, and we received only 2 proposals, with it eventually being awarded to Purdue University. All right, next slide, please. So we look at the what we buy. Now let's look at the how we buy it. We use a variety of contracting vehicles, which are listed here, and I believe you'll learn a little more about the GSA federal supply schedules in this. but these continue to gain in popularity, and they're used by quite a few federal agencies. But we also have our own contract vehicles. We call them enterprise-wide contracts. And these are kind of put in place to centralize spending to benefit agency buyers. An example, the contract we have for technical assistance to our reactor and environmental programs. A lot of different scientific disciplines fall under this contract, so seismology, hydrology, geology, etc. Another really good opportunity for universities. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now we're going to take a look at the roles. So 3 primary roles. I'm going to touch on them briefly. Compliance is carried out through acquisition compliance reviews, which include market research checklists we create for our contracting shop that essentially documents efforts we use to explore the marketplace. Technical assistance gives us the opportunity to work with agency buyers to recommend contract vehicles, incentivize subcontracting measures, provide sources, etc. And then we've essentially positioned ourselves to be the quote-unquote easy button when it comes to a particular product or service, which has been quite popular thus far. We have the outreach component, and that's where we participate and host our own events to help companies expand their footprint into the federal marketplace. And then for internal customers we work with, we're an advocate. And then for our external customers, like today, we're going to provide business development assistance so you grow your business or government space. All right, next slide, please. All right, these are 3 primary and I'd say most effective ways to really market your services to the government. This is what we offer you today and in the future. We have a 3-step process on how to market your services, which you'll see next slide, but essentially it surrounds free counseling sessions that we offer virtually now. And then during the counseling session, we explain how to navigate the agency's contracting landscape. So really, what does that entail, right? It involves explaining the agency's resources that are available and how to respond to prime and subcontract opportunities. I want to mention, even though during these sessions, if we cannot identify a contract opportunity that matches your expertise, we show you tools that will help you trace the money to relevant contracts that do match your company's capabilities. So don't be discouraged. We can also look at other agencies and other potential customers for you. Next slide, please. I want to take a look at this 3-step process we have. Step 1, it's a little hard to see, but it's pretty simple and it's been effective. Step 1, you request a counseling session by emailing smallbusiness@nrc.gov, and you place counseling request in the subject line. Step 2, we review opportunities using the Small Business Toolbox, which we'll come out in a moment during that counseling session. And once we identify an opportunity that your capabilities or expertise, we move to step 3. Step 3, we work on scheduling a meeting with the end user and buyer to discuss that particular contract opportunity. Next slide, please. All right. Outreach, not only do we participate in outreach events, but we host them as well. Typically, they're a half-day event that includes an educational portion on how to conduct business with the NRC, and we'll also include counseling sessions as well. We're evolving. We've included in the past an Ask the Business Doctor feature that companies could ask questions to experts in various fields, such as federal contracting, finance, human resources, and insurance. And we focus mostly on headquarters, but we're starting to kind of branch out to our regional offices as well. Next slide, please. Resources, very important, right? That's why we're here today. I've listed, I would say, 3 main resources for federal contract opportunities with the NRC. The first one is the main portal where the federal government publishes many of its opportunities, and it's also used to survey the capability of organizations to support a product or service need. Now, the second one is the NRC's forecast. This is where we publish what we project to buy each year. We also include a list of current contracts and the type of work being performed. And the third third resource is our feature intelligence tool. We use to identify potential opportunities and facilitate the review of contracts that you can look at instantly online without going through the FOIA request process, a really unique feature we offer. Let's take a look at that toolbox. I know we just have a few moments left. Let's go to the next slide, please. There's a few resources here that we're going to walk you through during that counseling session. And then you can refer back to this for future use. But one unique tool I mentioned before is the second to last resource. It's titled How to View an NRC Contract. This is a PowerPoint presentation that walks you through the process with a screenshot, step-by-step, arrows and links on how to identify a potential contract online and then instantly view it without going through the FOIA request process. But I want to mention we're going to walk you through this first, and then you'll use this as a guide for future use. So always have somebody there over the phone or virtually through Teams or some other mechanism to walk you through the process. You will have a person. In addition, one customer base that is often overlooked is the national labs we work with. They spend billions of dollars in the commercial marketplace, and we also link to their contract opportunities as well. It's that box right under the small business box on the slide. This is the one tool that I think offers a lot of opportunities, and if you were to maybe focus on one to start with, I would say Sandia National Labs tend to post the most opportunities. Their contracts vary over time, but they do include scientific and engineering-based services. Next slide, please. This is wrapping up. I know we're time. So just to recap, the team is here to help. Here's our contract info to continue the conversation with us, to assist you in matching your organization's capability or expertise with agency, prime, and subcontract opportunities. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join the session. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Please welcome the Communications and Industry Liaison, Office of Chief Procurement Officer, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Lauren Edwards.
All right. Can you hear me now? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm elated to be here with you today as an HBCU graduate from Howard University. And I'm also here to share how to do business with the Department of Homeland Security. In order to do business with DHS, it is important to connect with and understand the mission of DHS. So slides 1 through 3, I'm going to be moving a little fast here because there's a lot of information to share with you. DHS's vision is to ensure a homeland that is safe, secure, and resilient against terrorism and other hazards. With honor and integrity, guard the American people, our homeland, and our values. That's our mission. And we have a multitude of missions that are vast, right? So counterterrorism, we secure U.S. borders, secure cyberspace, preserve and uphold the nation's prosperity and economic security, strengthen preparedness and resilience, and we champion the DHS workforce. So the mission requires us to be flexible and resilient and look for solutions that are mutually beneficial. Slide 4, please. DHS buys an array of goods and services for about 9 commodities. In fiscal year 2019 combined, DHS spent approximately $17.5 billion across those commodities. And the money was procured across multiple agencies, and this is slides 5 through 8, that include DHS headquarters, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Customs and Border Protections, United States Coast Guard, FEMA, TSA, U.S. Secret Service, and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. So what exactly does DHS buy? We buy a lot of items, right? Services and goods, security guard services and detection equipment, management advisory and support services, research and development, IT maintenance, medical and interpretation services, engineering, technical support, and as you can see, the list goes on and on. How do we buy? And you will see this on slides 9 through 10. DHS procurement serves to provide smart to meet the mission. And we continue to evolve in our creativity and our approaches. So a few years ago, we stood up our strategic sourcing program, and we have awarded over 80 contract vehicles to fill our mission needs. Some of these vehicles are government-wide and some are DHS-wide. So we have our government-wide agency contracts and multi-agency contracts. We solicit to the open market through beta.sam, and we also solicit through GSA or GSA schedule. We also have another authority, which is called Other Transaction Authority, a bit later in the presentation. So the key is determining your pathway and what best meets your capabilities and needs to market to us. All right, slides 11 through 13. So where do you go to find the information? This is very important, everyone. So the first place that you can go to find where this information is the Department of Homeland Security Acquisition Planning Forecast System, and we call that APFS. It's a portal for vendors to view anticipated contract actions above $250,000. Agencies are already required to post all federal procurement opportunities over $25,000 on beta.sam. And also on beta.sam, you can find requests for information, draft requests for proposals, requests for quotations. You can find what we call broad agency announcements and sources sought notices. Your opportunity, and it is so many ways that you can get. So slides 14 through 15. Just want to remind you, when you make the decision to submit a proposal, some important key factors that you remember: always read. Develop a checklist while reading the request for proposal or request for quotation, and carefully provide a solution. Don't paraphrase. Spell out any teaming agreements or joint venture agreement past performance. Make sure your graphics are on point, and just triple check. Key thing: if you have questions, ask questions before the solicitation closes. All right, slide 16. You can learn more about the DHS budget priorities and how Congress has allocated the budget by going to our website at dhs.gov. There's so much information at dhs.gov. So I invite you to go to dhs.gov and go to our How to Do Business page. You will find a lot of that. Now, to do business with the government, you need to register to do business with the government by going to the System for Award Management at www.sam.gov. That is extremely important. All right, slide 17. Some other avenues that you can use, some other ideas are reverse auction websites, commercial subscriptions, federal websites, virtual conferences, and word of mouth. All right, so slide 18, please. We're going to get into some of our key programs, which are very exciting and that are extremely relevant to academia. DHS is the largest agency to earn a grade A or A+ for the last Small Business Administration. And you can see the spend breakdown by socioeconomic categories on slide 19. DHS also has key resources. You can go to our website to find out more information about how you can reach us in reference to small businesses and post-teaming award opportunities. We are going to jump to slides 22 and 23. These slides have information about the Mentor-Protégé program. So the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, has a Small Business Mentor-Protégé program. And you can contact the SBA to get more information about that. But DHS also has their own Small Business Mentor-Protégé program. And it's a great opportunity for new and upcoming businesses to learn the intricacies of DHS. All right, so now I want to tell you a little bit about our Science and Technology Directorate, S&T. S&T's mission is to support the effectiveness of operations, applying scientific and innovative approaches to deliver solutions and support departmental acquisitions. S&T works with private sector innovators to keep pace with rapid changes in technology and allow DHS to respond to emerging threats. So I'm going to tell you about some of the opportunities that they have. So they have the long-range broad announcement, agency announcement, and that provides standing invitation to scientific technical communities to submit proposals on open topics. They also have the Small Business Innovation Research Program. And this provides funding to small businesses for concepts and prototypes that are innovative and provide solutions to homeland security challenges and prize competitions. So, as the DHS Prize Authority, S&T sponsors crowdsourced competitions to award the best innovative thinking and homeland security problem solving. And also the Silicon Valley Innovation Program. And this program reaches innovation communities across the nation and the world to harness commercial research and development for R&D applications and to co-invest in. So you can find much more about these programs in the S&T Industry Guide, which is posted on their website. And there's also a supplement to that guide. It's posted on their website. And you can also reach out to their dedicated industry liaison at the mailbox on the S&T website. So now I'm going to introduce Gregory Simmons, who's a program manager over university programs for science and technology. Gregory, take it away.
Hey, good afternoon, Lauren. Thank you so much. Thank you for my colleagues from over at the Chief Procurement Office who gave an outstanding overview and really set me up to explain the opportunities that universities, specifically HBCUs, can have connecting with the Office of Science and Technology. So the Science and Technology Directorate also has industry partners component, which you just were briefed on, that maintains and controls the long-range BAA for unsolicited solicitations. So please take advantage of that. But also in my role at the Office of University, we want to also access the amazing research capabilities of HBCUs to connect you with the near-term and long-term research opportunities that we can take advantage of at Homeland Security. So what I would like to leave you with is that we are the business of S&T, the business of DHS is not only restricted to just services and widgets. We are also interested in knowledge and research, and we want to provide those opportunities to our HBCU community. So just very quickly, slides 2 and 3 for the gang here. I'd like to talk about a couple of vehicles at SC that we use to connect with HBCUs and also your student population. Click a couple of slides there, folks. What I would say to our folks online is there are 3 different ways that you can access programs within science and technology. And sounds like my dog likes these programs as well. But 3 different ways of connecting with science technology. We use contracts, grants, and cooperative agreements. So those are 3 ways. One would be through our grants program, the strategic leadership program, where we can fund research and programs for our for professors to do that we're concerned with in science and technology. We also have a program that are focused on the future of our workforce, for our workforce development efforts. And so we try to fund 10 to 8 week experiences for your students to connect to, as a previous speaker talked about, to the national labs, to our DHS labs, and also to DHS components. These are paid opportunities for students with a stipend, with living expenses, but they get connected with research that's going on to across the DHS component. So it's not just a one component, it's all across. And so we make that program available so you can offer those opportunities to your students. We also have a program where we're connected students with the opportunities out there in the private sector. So again, if we can connect, give access and opportunity to students to the missions that are important to Homeland Security in the research realm, we think that's a win, because we want to posture HBCUs and posture the students to be in a position where they can take on greater roles of responsibility and lead research efforts in Homeland Security. So Lauren, I appreciate the time to talk about. I know it's abbreviated, but if anyone has questions, when you get the slides, you can see the link. You can reach out to me and to my colleagues within S&T and deal with some of those opportunities. So I appreciate it. I will flip it back over to Lauren to wrap up. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Greg. So as we come to a close, it's important that here at DHS, we let you know that we want to inspire and motivate you, and we really believe in meaningful communications. So please, presentation after this session, reach out to us. You can reach out to me and my colleagues at the DHS Industry Liaison mailbox that is on the slide. And you can reach out to small business representatives, other industry liaisons at headquarters, and industry liaisons in the different components that you would like to target. But if you have any questions on how to navigate that process, just reach out to me or myself or Gregory. Thank you so much for your time and participation, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day. Over.
Welcome the Senior Contracting Officer of ITC Hardware Division, Fast Lane, Team Land, Team Lead, GSA FAS, Yolanda Collins.
Hi, everybody. And once again, thank you all for joining us here today at the HBCU Conference 2020. As stated, I am Yolanda Collins. I am a team lead and senior contractor on the Fast Lane team here in Atlanta, Georgia. And today I want to present you how to get on a GSA schedule. Next slide, please. Okay, so dear prospective offers, and that would be you if you decide to, is GSA schedule right for you? I'm going to talk about how to get started, identifying your competitors, and once we go through those steps, if you say, yes, I want to submit an offer, we'll go talk a little bit about how to submit your e-offer to our offices to be evaluated to get a potential schedule. If you decide, no, that's not right for you, here's some other opportunities that are out there for you to do federal business with the government. And also, you've also had just 2 presentations about other agencies that are out there for you guys if you do decide to that way. Next slide, please. First, I appreciate you guys for your interest in the GSA multiple award schedule. GSA awards thousands of schedules to commercial firms each year. We're designed to enable federal agencies to purchase commercial products and services quickly, efficiently, and at fair, reasonable prices, along with complying with the federal acquisition regulations when easy-to-use procedures are followed. Next slide, please. Okay, oh, that's not that one. Okay, so right here, if you do decide to do business with the GS, this slide that right in here shows the e-offer e-mod system. The e-offer e-mod system is where you go to submit all of your documents. Once you have gathered them for your e-offer, it is also where you would go once you actually have an e-offer contract schedule with us, where you submit any modifications that you need to have any changes done to your contract once you do get it. Next slide, please. So once you actually get into the actual e-mod e-offer system, these are the options that it will give you. Prepare an e-offer, submit a modification, and report sales. And we'll talk more about reporting sales further along in the slideshow, but to say report sales is what you have to do, because once you get on schedule, GSA does charge industrial funding fee of 0.75%. So you will go in and report the sales that you have done with your federal agencies, and it will calculate and show you how much your IFF fee will actually be. Next slide, please. Okay, let's see. So e-library is where you will go to find your actual contract and what other contract vehicles are out there. We are on the multiple award schedule, which is the mass contract that just came about February of this year. So there were like professional services offices. There was an office for travel. There was an off for to purchase vehicles. So there were different schedules throughout GSA. What happened in February is we consolidated onto one multiple award schedule. So if you want to go and see your contract or whatever contracts out there as far as competition and what the prices are and what you would need to propose to us in order to be considered fair and reasonable, you could go to the GSA library, which is the e-library, select multiple award schedule, and there it will take you out to all of the vendors that are currently on schedule. Next slide, please. So once you click that button, here is everything that's currently on schedule. See, we have the multiple award schedule. We also have all of those vendors that are under the multiple award schedule that currently have blanket purchase agreements with us, BPAs. There are also different offices, as you can see, medical equipment supplies, dental equipment supplies, patient. So any labs that you have, they offer businesses, doctor, nurses, lab equipment, you can actually propose a schedule to get under that stuff as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so once you actually click under multiple award schedule, it will show you the different categories that fall under the mass schedule. And for example, our SIN structures did change with this mass schedule. And now for the complete facilities maintenance and management arena, the SIN number is 561210FA. And structure used to be different, but now it follows the NAICS codes. So if you know your NAICS code, you will probably know where you fit it on the schedule. So I think that part would be a little bit easier than trying to actually find which SIN and where you fit under that particular SIN. And for this particular one, as you can see, elevator, escalator, inspection services, facilities management, HVAC maintenance, that would fall under this particular category. Next slide, please. Okay, these are just some more SINs that are out here. And as you see, it's the information technology, and that's actually the office where I see it under the IT Schedule 70 office, which is information technology. This particular SIN is for electric commerce and subscription services. We have 33411, which is for IT technology hardware. So any products that you have, printers, routers, any software that's proprietary to you, this is where you go to file to submit your e-offer for this particular SIN, see what's already out there that's not offered. You may have something that you think is new and innovative that you want to offer. We take those kind of e-offers as well. And that would be under what we would call a springboard. I know it may be a lot of information, but we'll get to the questions and you'll be able to contact me to talk about it and see exactly where you fit if you're still unsure. Next slide, please. Okay, under the new consolidated schedule for products and services, you may read and understand the solicitation posted at betasam.gov. The solicitation includes the terms and clauses that become your new award upon final negotiation and signature, and a critical success factor for each contractor is compliance with terms and conditions of the negotiated contract. With that being said, please, 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 if you do decide to get an e-offer, sam.gov, pull down the schedule and read it. I know it's very, it's a lot, but it will help you to be able to ask questions that are very more beneficial to you than if you had not read it. It's a lot of information, but it's a lot of information that will help you out. And I know it can be a lot. We are here to help, but the first step is definitely go pull the solicitation and read it. And this solicitation is ongoing. There's no cutoff date. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if you do decide later down the road that you want to submit an e-offer, it'll still be out there for you to submit the e-offer. Next slide, please. So that's what sambeta.gov looks like. If you've not been on it, if you're not familiar with it, this is the website. You will go in and you can put IT Schedule 70 or put GSA schedule, search words, and it will come up. Put multiple award schedule, it will definitely come up and you'll be able to see what's out there. Next slide, please. So this slide has the schedule number. Write it down. It is Schedule Programs 99, which is the multiple award schedule program. This office actually in Philadelphia is actually the manager of that schedule. So if you needed that point of contact, this is their email, and the URL will take you directly to the schedule. I think someone said that these slides would be available. So you should be able to just click on it and it'll take you directly to the schedule. Next slide, please. So this slide just shows you what it's going to look like once you actually click on that URL or put it in or do a search on sem.beta.gov. And you can see it has the general information, the classification, description, attachments, and links, and the contact information and any history, or there would be old refreshes that we've had in the past to the actual schedule. Next slide, please. Note, one of the most important things you need to understand is that a GSA mass contract is not a guarantee for future sales. Please note that. I can't elaborate on how many vendors that I've had that have been on schedule that say, hey, I'm not getting any sales. What do I do? They think that automatically once you get an e-offer or you've been awarded the schedule, that means guaranteed sales. You still have to go out there and market yourselves to the different agencies that are available for you to sell your products to. GSA mass program is optional for federal agencies, but lately what I've been seeing is that a lot of agencies have mandated that they use GSA schedule because the work is easier because we've done most of the leg work up front. So you know the prices are already fair and reasonable. The agencies have been vetted with their past performance, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot easier for the agencies just to go on our schedule and choose a vendor to award a product or to get a product from or a service from. The competition is required for orders exceed the micro purchase threshold of 10K. The GSA mass program helps reduce acquisition lead time, as I stated, and provides a wide selection of state-of-the-art commercial products and services. Next slide, please. Okay, GSA has already determined the prices to be fair and reasonable, as I said, so you don't have to do market research. Know that you are probably getting the best competitive prices out there. We do not require a synopsis of the requirement nor a posting to beta.sam. And although GSA provides benefits to potential buyers for using the GSA mass program, we do not market or promote specific contractors, or their products, period. With that saying that if a particular agency comes to us and say, hey, do you have a vendor online that can do cybersecurity that you can suggest to us? We cannot do that. So that's what that means. Next. Next slide, please. Okay, let's see. Okay, so find your competitors. I think that's where we get, or I can see those slides that's up there, you guys. Can you guys see them? Is that what it says? It's blurry on my end. Hopefully that's what you see. Let me try. Yes, identify your competitors. So in order to identify your competitors, like I said previously, go on the GSA Mass eLibrary site, which is hyperlinked here, and also it's www.gsaelibrary.gsa.gov, or you can go out to GSA Advantage. Once you put in a particular SIN number or a category, those vendors will come up. They have catalogs published, and on those published catalogs, you can see things like what particular service or product they're offering, and with what service they're offering, there's always a description. There's education, there's years of experience, and then there's also finally the pricing. So it will help you do apples to apples, orange to oranges type comparison before you submit your actual e-offer. Or once you submit an e-offer and you want to go and you want to do a modification and you want to add some stuff to it, that's also where you will go to look for the products and services that are out there. Next slide, please. So this is what GSA eLibrary looks like. I don't know if you can see it very well, but under this, you can go over here to the right, and it says view the scheduled contracts. And under the scheduled contracts is where, again, the mass schedules will come up, and you're able to select from your particular category that you want to offer, and find those vendors that are already currently on schedule. Next slide, please. Okay. So when reviewing how to compete with other vendors on GSA Mass, look at the following. Key information is your competitors' pricing. We also have Calc tool out there on the website for labor categories. That's the website, www.calc.gsa.gov. You can do the same thing that I mentioned there, put in your particular labor category, not products, only labor categories, and put in education, put in the time on the job. You can, well, not a description. You can also put in your pricing, and it'll show you a graph, show you if you're in range, out of range. Then you can also go a further step and pull down each schedule that's under there, and you can sort that by years or education or prices, and it'll definitely show you what's already out there and how to be more competitive with your offer. Think about how you will prepare to meet or beat such terms which will make your company more competitive. Next slide, please. Okay, let's see. So again, this is how GSA e-library looks, and this is just where you can go and also find contractors and particular vendor contracts that have been awarded. And what it's showing you is how to click on Fed Business, which is out there, Sam, so be redone, and the Vendor Support Center, which is going to be very helpful if you have any questions or helping you prepare everything to get your e-offer. The vendor support system is very, very helpful if you're going to decide to send an e-offer into GSA. They can have people online, and they also have links for things that you might need to start your e-offer and to process it and get it through those final. Next slide, please. Okay, and here again, it's just, this is the e-library, and it's just showing you that you can get a query of how many sales are out there to date. And for the past, I guess it probably goes up to like 5 years, it just shows you how many sales that we've had under GSA under those particular, under the particular mass schedule. Before the mass came along, it's showing the scales under our IT schedule set program. Next slide, please. So here is showing you how to get that schedule sales query. Step 2, just you can, as you can see, you can select it by different things that you want to know. All schedules by fiscal year, all schedules by all available fiscal years, the send in the schedule, all contract sales. You get the picture. So you can definitely go under here, see how being on schedule will be more beneficial to your particular school, and if it's at all, if it's worth the time for you. I'm telling you, it's definitely going to be worth the time. It will definitely put your school out there in the forefront to get a tremendous business. Next slide, please. Tip: remember, if your company is awarded a GSA Mass contract, your company must generate at least 25,000 sales the first 2 years of performance, then at least 25,000 in sales annually thereafter. That is a requirement to maintain your GSA schedule. Within the first 2 years, you will have to generate 25,000 in schedule. Within the 3rd year, the 4th year, the 5th year, is 25,000 annually at least. So it's not saying that's all you can sell, but that is a minimum requirement to maintain your GSA schedule. Your company is newly established or have commercial sales less than $50 a date, you must recognize the difficulty to meet minimum sales requirement. If you decide to make an offer, a formal business plan is critical to ensuring your success on schedule. Next slide, please. Finally, how well you perform under the contract is the most critical element of your success. And I think I've stated that as well. You must meet minimum sales. You must meet minimum sales. First 2 years, 25,000, annually 25,000 after that. And that is going to dictate how well you perform on the most critical elements of your schedule. So, but we're here to help. If you need any advice as to what they may be having a vendor day, where you can get it, where conferences coming up, where you can go and set up a booth to show products or your services or just to market yourself. We do assist, or you can reach out to your contracting officer or your contract specialist, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. SBA within GSA is also very helpful with that type of information. Next slide, please. Okay, yes, I cannot see what's going on up there, so I hope I'm on the right slide. Forgive me if I'm not. Yes, I want to submit an offer. GSA is always looking for highly qualified firms to increase competition under the GSA MASH program. While not all offers receive a GSA MASH contract, the program is open to responsible offers when the company demonstrates requirements of a solicitation are met, including fair and reasonable pricing. That said, yes, every offer that we get does not result in an e-offer being awarded. Some already may not have the best financials, they may have had bad past performance, and sometimes when we do get to negotiations or having back and forth conversations, we know on some prices the company can't afford to lower the prices to be more competitive. So sometimes that results in an ER being either withdrawn or rejected. So all offers do not result into a contract schedule. Typically, it takes 120 days or longer for an offer to be clarified, evaluated, and negotiated. Keep in mind, this varies depending on the type of schedule, and being that we have all one award schedule, we're still in the learning phase. The different contracting officers and specialists, especially for schedules that are not in our particular office, we're learning about the different offices that are out there. So it may be shorter. It just depends. For us, we have what's called a fast lane. If you do have a schedule that, or you do have a company, say you have a DHA and they come to you and they say, hey, Alabama State University, so I'm from Alabama, so that's what I'm going to say, Alabama State University, we want to use your cybersecurity lab, and we want you to come up with a program that is a program. We see you have a program that's hot on the streets, and we really, really, really want you to get on schedule. We really, really want to use your product. But in order to do that, our office has mandated we go through the GSA schedule. If you have a circumstance like that, we do have a program that I'm actually a team lead over in my office, and it's called the Fast Lane. With the Fast Lane program, we do get orders, we do get contracts on schedule in 30 to 45 days. But you do have to have everything else in line, your financials, your pricing. You have to have that letter from your AC that's requesting you to actually come in, or you have to have seen RFS posted that you know that you want to go out and submit an offer to or proposal to. Once you have all that information, when you get ready to submit your e-offer, there's a section that says, hey, do you qualify for fasting or springboard? Yes, it'll come into one of our offices, and it's guaranteed to be 30 to 45 days to put on schedule. Next slide, please. Okay. Goodness. Okay. So after you submit an offer, procuring contracting officer, PCO, which is me, will verify that you have submitted all of the required information and will use the information to evaluate your offer. The PCO will look at numerous areas, including pricing, past proposal, past performance, the scope of your work. Does it fit within the scope of what we already currently have on contract? Your financial, which I told you about, you will have to submit your financials from the past 2 years of school, technical capability, any subcontracting plan, which is applicable to large businesses, and the other requirements within the documentations and the terms and conditions of our actual solicitation. Next slide, please. No, I do not want to submit an offer right now. What other options do I have for federal business? Like I said, GSA MASH program is continually open, which means we're open all year long. But you may want to evaluate the interest in your product services and submit an offer at a later date. So it's always available for you to come in and submit an e-offer to us. Next slide, please. Again, www.beta.sam.gov. is where vendors should review the only open solicitation on the mass, which their supplies and or services may be. Here's the link. This schedule accepts offers using e-offer, e-mod system, which I showed you earlier, a web-based application that allows vendors to prepare and submit their GSA schedule offer electronically and are noted in the applicable slides to follow. Next slide, please. So this is attachment B. Again, it's about it's beta.sam.gov. At this time, there's only one open solicitation under the mass. The new mass solicitation is this link here. All new offers should refer to this solicitation only. Second, for current contractors and buyers looking for legacy schedules, information was moved over to beta.sam.gov, where I showed you the history over on the left side with the same solicitation numbers for reference and award information. So you can always go back and see what was awarded in the past. It's out there now on beta.sam.gov. Next slide, please. All links to the solicitation on beta.sam.gov have been updated on the GSA e-library under each schedule page. Those links should take you to the legacy schedule information on the new beta.sam website. If the attachments don't load, click on the update link in the yellow box, which should take you to the legacy solicitation documents. Next slide, please. If you have any trouble navigating beta.sam.gov, all the new mass solicitation information as well as the legacy schedule information is posted on eoffer.gsa.gov under View Solicitations section on the right side of the page. Next slide, please. That's it. Oh my God, I cannot. It's over. Thank you all. Hopefully that's my contact information that's up there on the page. I'm not sure if you can see it. If not, I am yolanda.collins@gsa.gov. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And if I can't help you, I'll get you pointed in the right direction. Thank you. Have a good day.
Please welcome back Lauren Edwards.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. We want to thank you. We appreciate your time for joining us today to hear about how to do business with NRC, DHS, and GSA. We know that it is a lot of information. Okay, we understand that. We know you probably have a plethora of questions, and we want to make sure that we answer your questions. So if you can put your questions in the HOVA app, we would greatly appreciate it. Those are going to be collected and given to us, and we will get back to you with answers. And we also encourage you to reach out to us yourselves. We've given you our contact information, we've given you our websites, and you can reach us that way. We really want you to take advantage of all the opportunities that we have presented to you today, and we appreciate it. Some key takeaways generally from all of our presentations: we want you to understand our core missions and the needs of each agency. We want you to ensure that your website and capability statements clearly articulate your organization's needs and offerings. Also, when meeting with the different officials that you will begin to network with, we want you to encourage you to know their role, okay, and make sure your capabilities match up with their roles, okay? So things are constantly evolving, as we all know. We want you to be a partner with all of us to help us fill some of our capability gaps. And we just want you to utilize the resources available to navigate all of our opportunities. So once again, we thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to working with you in the near future. Over.